Today the Church celebrates the liturgical memory of Saint Ignatius of Antioch, one of the first martyrs who was bishop of a great imperial city of Antioch. He was taken to Rome as a triumphant to be martyred there, just as years before Caesar had called the triumphant under the chains Vercingetorix, the mystical Gallus chieftain who had defeated when he conquered what is now French. He was already an important character, Ignatius. He was a descendant, not in the biological sense, but in the regular spiritual sense of the apostles. He was a man with a great spiritual prestige, a great shepherd. So they closed him to set an example and to imitate the Christians. If they did not with a venerable, important old man, what would they do with the rest, simple people? They had to be freedom. That was the empire's goal, for them to be fair. Fear to those that were affiliated and associated themselves with their new religion that was endorsing the empire, because they refused to worship the empire of God. Be afraid. They had to be made fear. Saint Ignatius was taken in a stage because there were no airplanes in the first century. He was taken from Antioch in Asia, in Minor Asia, to Rome. And he had the opportunity to write letters, which are one of the greatest treasures on which the Christian tradition is based on. The letters of Saint Ignatius are unforgettable, and fortunately, we studied them when we prepared for the priesthood. Within the subject of the patristic, they must be read again and again, with faith which shown this man's passionate love for Christ, and the certainty that there was eternal life. I am Christ, we, he writes in one of his letters, I am Christ, we, and I must be grounded by the beast's teeth. And he was reading another of his letter to the Romans, asking them to have pity on him, not to intercede with the empire to free him from the martyrdom. He does not want to die of old age, of a estrangement that somehow implies a scandal, because he will have renounced to his faith. I am Christ, we, and I must be grounded by the beast of teeth. And this is said by one who goes straight to those teeth. What about us? We have to suffer, yes, it is true, for so many things, not only for the things that come from within the church, what make us suffer, but for the things that are outside and that are part of God's mystery, like illness. We have to suffer, but we have forgotten the redemptive value of suffering. First, the redemptive value of Christ's suffering, and then ours. It is St. Paul who says, I completed my flesh, and he knew what it was to suffer. I completed my flesh, what is lacking Christ's passion. We are co-redeemers, offering ourselves to the Lord, uniting ourselves to the Lord on the cross. We are co-redeemers. All of this that will happen to us, I repeat, physical problems, financial problems, family problems, social problems, ecclesial problems, all things that happens to us make us suffer. All of this has a great value. Our elders were martyrized in the midst of a cruel torments. Some, I think, of Saint Bartholomew, who was skinned alive, who were terrible. Well, we are not so much affected, at least the immense majority. We have to take advantage of what they give us to unite ourselves to Christ crucified, knowing, that is, we must not never forget, knowing that there is eternal life. If we lose this, if we lose this faith, if for an instant we let our gaze wander from heaven with our feet on the ground, despite come, I trust in God. Saint Ignatius too, when the lions were killing him, said, I trust in God, I trust in God. Christ on the cross also said, I trust in God. Into your hands, Father, I commend my spirit. I trust in God. I trust in God. Give me, Lord, the strength to be faithful witness, even martyr, if necessary, out of love to you and trusting in you. So be it.